You knew I was getting ready to say something, didn't you? You sure did. Now sit down. Sit your butt down. Alright, I'm gonna let you slide this time. Come on up here. Come on up here. Watch my coffee cup. Now sit down. Alright, now chill out. Come on, man. I love him to death. Chill out. What? I really do. I've learned so much from this little guy. In August, he'll be a year old. He already like 50 pounds, almost 50 pounds. But he's given me he's basically taught me how to be patient. And you know, as a pet, and you know, for my pet lovers out there, my pet owners, they can't talk, but they can communicate. And I've learned so much from this guy. Alright, now you're going to chill out, because you know I got to put it out there. You know I got to do his work. Okay? I got to get that ear as a wrap. Come on now. I'm out to evict you from the Look here. I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. I'm going to give you the treat. You sit down over there by the fireplace. And I'm going to do one thing, okay? Alright. Hey, y'all, give me 1 second. Let me get him straight. And Tyson. He loves me. Give me a second. Let me get straight. And then I'm going to go into what I wanted to share with you guys, okay? Give me just 15 seconds. Alright, come on, man. Let me be smart. Put my coffee cup so you don't knock it down. Come on, get it. Come on, man. Get out. Suplex. Ooh. Alright, sit down. Give me a second. Come on now. Here. Yeah, that's all you want, treats. You know, how did you know how to manipulate? Oh, you see what I'm doing now. I got your kryptonite. Yeah, yeah. Now go sit down on the fireplace. Go sit over there. Now chill out. And don't knock my DVR down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. I appreciate your patience, guys. But see, he's a little ham when he want to be. See, over he needs to be. See, there he is. See right there. There you go. There he is, right there. All right, now leave me alone. Sit down. Tyson, sit down. Sit down. All right. Hold on 1 second. One more second. My phone's gonna ring in a second. I'm trying to. But I'm real with mine because I can do that. Because I know who I am. And I want each and every one of you to have the peace that I have. Now, as you notice, first of all, welcome to those who've never been to my channel. My name is Gerald Davis. I'm a life coach and aspiring psychologist. And in October 2011, I embraced my spiritual journey and allowed my Creator, He is one of many names, my Lord Jesus Christ, into my life. And my life has been made new. And I'm going to tell you, when you decide to submit and just change it up. Hold on a minute. Sit down. Sit down. Now, I worked the agreement out with you, and you see what I'm doing. And now you're being greedy. Now you chill out on that bed, and so don't look at me like you're crazy. Don't even do it. Look. What's up? Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Don't do it. Sit up. No, get away. Sit down. Tyson, sit down. Sit down. Matter of fact, lay down. Lay down. You know, he just want to do his own thing. I guess he wants his own channel. But anyway, I'm going to get back to where I need to be. But I love each and every one of you. And I can say that as a human being to another human being, because there's no love in the world. There's not enough. It's time to get back to one, y'all. It is time to do the work. Now, some of y'all have been tracking my videos, and I understand you guys are living your lives. It is not easy living your life. It is not. You're gonna have challenges, pitfalls, and distractions that keep you away from the prize. Hold on one second. Look here. I'm about to put you in the kennel because you chill. You're not working with me. Now, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna go over there, or you gonna lay down here? You gonna lay down? You gonna lay down? Lay down then. Thank you. Now you see me up here talking, you interrupting me, just like a little toddler. See the similarity there? No. Chill out. And I don't want this in your mouth, so. Alright, to get back to where I was. We're in the beginning of the summer. The summer is locking. I'm gonna get you again. Hold on a minute. One more. I appreciate your patience. Listen. Go on over there and lay down. Go ahead. Let's go. Hold on, y'all. I gotta put him up because I don't know. Just give me 5 more seconds because I got something I want to share with y'all. Let's go. I tried to work with you, but she didn't want to, so let's go to the kennel. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Listen, I can't do that. I'm on borrowed time. And I've got to get this out. Alright. I appreciate your patience. And actually that's a good lesson, because when it comes to who you are, that's the number one thing that you're gonna have is patience. Patience with yourself. Because see, just to use a metaphor of the summer's hot. With hot, there's a lot of heat going on. There's change amongst you. Some is good, some is surprising, some is not so good. Everything that you're being, some of y'all are forced to see, it's meant to happen. Actually will be used as a motivation. And for those who may be going through some things that will really hit your emotions, I want you to have faith, have courage. Keep your focus. Like they say, keep the eye on the prize. You're the prize. You're the prize. Don't you see? See, when you turn around and start to learn to have dominion over your emotions, everything will start to make sense. See, here's the first thing you got to understand. If you're happy, you're where you need to be. Like Tyson, he don't like where he need to be right now because I was patient with him and I had to put the authoritative him. I had to put him in the kennel because normally this is when he's out. But after a while, you've got to say, hey, look, I'm going to use this tool as a motivation to get you to see what I'm trying to do. Now, let's look at that in regards to your friendships. And please pay attention to this. If hold on, he's trying to play victim. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He just don't want to be in the kennel. Give me 1 second, okay? This is to be the last time I step away. 1 second, but I'm gonna keep it real with y'all because I guarantee that someone's not being real with you, and you deserve to be. You need to have all the tools you need to get the result that you need. Not what you want, but what you truly need. And that has more weight in the end. 1 second, okay? You go. You did it to yourself. And so I can't. You got to think about that. Alright. So let's talk about our friendships. Have you noticed the theme that I always echo? Friendships, relationships, connections. The hardest thing that you're going to ever learn is interaction with other people. But if you don't have the tools to understand what is being made accessible to you, the worth in it, you can make choices not in your best interest or be set up to fail. Now, has this happened to you? You make a connection with someone, they seem very, very interesting. You may also find common threads of contact. You guys are in sync to some point that it seems like they could be like a soulmate or almost like a brother or a sister. You guys just hit it on the head all the time. But then time goes on and you start to see things that you didn't see at first. As you invest more time with this access of this contact, you're starting to see traits that are not yours. Actually, are things that you would not even condone. But because of the fact that we allow our ego and we don't see the forest beyond the trees, our empathetic side says, well, you know what, give them another chance. Give them, maybe they had an off period. Maybe there's something they're going through. Or you may even take it upon yourself to try to change them. But it doesn't give you what you want. Notice it said want. And it won't give you what you need. Or has this happened to you? You make a connection with someone, you meet someone, you're very taken by them. And you've made the mistake of becoming a lover before a friend. And then as the connection of the physical connection is growing, the emotional dissolves. And then you're caught up in this dance. like a push-pull effect. Because you're trying to figure out, well, why do they act this way? Don't they feel the same way I do? Why do they not give the same energy as I give them? I'll tell you why. Actually, you already know. See, unfortunately, there are those people that walk around with masks. They mask who they are just to navigate or maintain a position in life. Some people will take a job because it has a status connected to it. Some people will even mask their whole personality from how they dress, talk, and act to convince you that you are the same. But then there's one problem with that. They get burnt out. And when they get burnt out, then all the negative stuff comes, the bad stuff. They start talking reckless. They start to show actions about them that you would have never imagined in 1,000 years, proverbially, that they could possess. To the point, it seems like the lover was never your friend. Well, I hate to tell you this. They weren't. What they were doing were trying to live through you so that they could heal something within them. You remember that old nursery rhyme a long time ago when you were a kid? Think back when you were a kid about the story of the Pied Piper. A man that comes in the night with a musical tune to lure the children into the night. Well, see, when people walk around with a mask, that's what they do. They're very good at being adaptable. The reason why they're so great at being adaptable is because they don't know who they are. So they have a plethora of masks that they can put on. They can morph into any situation and feel and own it, except for the most important one, being themselves. The reason why they cannot master that is because they don't do the work. They've accepted to settle in a life of dysfunction. Unfortunately, these people show signs of control, but do not have control. It's like a living an oxymoron. Think about it. Just like when you look at reality shows, but they're not reality. Why? Because it's all about the game. The game is called distraction. Because if the person saw their worth, if they valued their connection with you, they would do the work. I'll break it down even more. If the person saw value in your connection, your relationship, why won't they turn every stone that's needed to more or less like a flower, adding water, adding nutrient, the nurturement? Why won't they do the work? Because they realize that if they do the work, they got to do the work with themselves first, and they rather go ahead and take the short route. Can't do that, y'all. Can't do that. My kings, you tired of this? You make that nice connection with someone you think is very special. They have qualities about them that you want to grow with. Now you got to remember, my kings and queens, you have the gift of nurturement. God put that in your spirit. That's why you were deemed female in the first place. Because you protect the temple, your body. Because you possess the key to life. But it is the man that possesses the key. And when the man and the female get together, That key opens up that temple door, which is life. But let's look at it on a different note. If that man is just turning locks on temple doors, don't you realize eventually that key goes bad? Don't you realize eventually those temple doors get weak, and anything that should not be in there has access because it's been worn down? Do you see where I'm going? The whole reason why you are supposed to discern and navigate your life, it is in protection of the spiritual yoke. Not anybody is supposed to have access to you. That's why you can't go off of what a person looks like, what they sound like. You go off of your heart. Your heart is connected to your spirit. But if you do not know who you are, you're not going to make sound decisions. That's why you see the same cycles coming. So what do? Instead of trying to do the work and falling back and assessing where we are, what needs to change, what needs to go, we just put a Band-Aid on it, keep it moving, and hope that when you step out there into the world, you don't get God again. But what do you do when it happens again? And again? You've got to take ownership of that emotional trigger. If you're going out and you're saying, well, you know what, every time I go out, I get blasted. I don't want to be not in control with my well-being, because that's dangerous, first of all. Because what's going to happen is you're going to drink that one glass too much, and you're going to wake up somewhere you don't. And I'm sorry, some of y'all end up finding your panties on the floor. And then you're saying, well, why? He said he was going to protect me. Why would he do that to me? Because he didn't see your worth. He didn't see your investment. He didn't want to do the work. He just knew what it took to get the end result. Now that burden is placed on your spirit because you know your worth. Like I said, the devil's work is not done. And see, what happens is when people continually choose not to see their worth, what ends up happening is two things. One, they are faced with a life-changing event that will stay with them forever to serve as a reminder of what not to do. Or they don't live anymore. The newspaper is filled with those. And they always play it so that, well, why didn't she know? Why could she do it? We live in a technological age where you know there are people there are givers and there are takers in this world, y'all. That is why it's very important to discern. I know some of you are saying, well, Daryl, I just want someone to love me. It can't come to you until you start loving yourself. That means you got to do the work. My kings, if it's at the point, are you going through this cycle where the only time you hear from somebody is when you got a pocket full of money? Or you got to do something to get something? Come on, man. When you going to wake up? Own who you are. But even if that has come to pass, it is your responsibility to learn from it. Someone cannot do anything unless you allow it. And real talk, you want to know why the world is on tilt, fellas? Truth is this. Women have lost faith in men. Some of them have reduced us to what we produce. That's it. And they'd rather find other avenues for happiness. Well, guess what? If you choose to deviate the route that you're going on, you're never going to be happy. It'll be like on an emotional treadmill, going nowhere. And you guys are worth it. Don't you realize? Think about it this way. If you want to, say you're in a position you want to buy a new car, right? Now, are you going to take the first one that you see? Or are you going to do your homework, which means you got to fall back? Because, see, the people that don't do their homework take the first thing. Why? Because they don't see their work. And they accept. They accept whatever's given to them. So let's bounce that back with relationships. If you're in a situation where you're breathing, it's like you can't breathe, you're getting nothing but disrespect, the person won't grow with you, but they're constantly beating you down, what they're trying to do is attack your free will. That is why it's important for you to speak your truth and stand your ground. That's what makes you the exception to the rule. Or you can do like everybody else and get into that in the other group and they're walking around mindlessly. Because see, society don't want you to grow. Society don't want you to be an individual. That's why when you go out, you see 1,001 people wearing the same thing. Because they've already figured out we are very impressionable. They realize that all we need is someone to play the illustration and they will follow us. Don't fall into that. But now on the flip side, if you want, let me correct you. If you would like to foster all the things that has your name attached to it, you've got to own who you are. That doesn't mean being an a-hole, being spiteful. Because some people that are so broken, they feel like, I'm going to call it like I see it. Unfortunately, as I said with those other women that have lost faith in men, what they won't tell you is they hate them. Because there was someone that caught them in a very vulnerable state and hurt them so deep that they typecast every man. That's why that proverbial all men are dogs. Well, let me tell you something. All men are not dogs. Because if you own your decisions, you own that's a trigger. You have an issue in regards in choosing your mate. But see, that's where you go wrong anyway. Because you're not supposed to choose your mate. You're not supposed to. You're going against the grain. See, your man, that dude, the one, he already knows who you are. He already knows. And he's doing the work. Because he knows that your legacy, your grace of who you are, demands it. Which means being respectable. Treating you like the queen that you are. And you, the king. Because, see, you got to remember, y'all, like-minded. Like-minded. That's why when you hear about people getting married, the two becomes one. One spiritual energy. That's why it is so, it's not no surprise when you see people choose to become lovers before friends. What happens is before it dissolves, one of the weaker of the two has the traits of the strong. So if they ain't living right, the weak one's going to follow suit. Why? Because the weak one don't see their work. So be that exception, y'all. Stop falling for the okie doke. Face your fears. Do the work. If not, what'll happen is you'll end up like so many of the people that you have known, and you wonder why she can't keep a man. She stands by herself. And let me throw this out here too, because I'm busting 30. It don't matter what you have done. Where you were yesterday is not who you are today. So don't own those fears. Don't do that. And because someone did something and left a scar, guess what? It will heal in time. But guess what? Thank God you ain't with them. Thank God. Because they didn't see your worth. But the one that does, guess what they doing? They're growing. They're receiving. And they're letting God do the work for them. And eventually, all that was hidden is made revealed. That's why some of you right now are unfortunately going through some seasons. They're like, I didn't see this. It feels like a truck hit you. That, even though it's painful, is actually your blessing. But you must have the faith and walk in your destiny. Because if they don't grow, if they don't want to grow, if it feels like they're pulling teeth, leave them be. Leave them be. And watch how look what life will do. Because that thing called karma, it humbles you down. So, I know I've been on the soapbox for a minute, but I felt that somebody needed to hear that. It's time that you do the work, my man, my queen. A man can't treat you like a queen unless you choose to embrace being a queen. That means sitting high, embracing your grace. And if you allow access to those that don't see your worth, cut them out. Turn your back, walk the other way. Don't even listen to what they got, because all that is a rope to pull you back in. God's praying for you. You know I am. Stay blessed.